There's a lot of noise coming out of London about Ange Postecoglou and Kyogo being reunited, but we're going to talk about the man of the moment. It is quite chilly here in Spain this morning. The next stop for me is Madrid this afternoon, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, because there'll be lots of videos coming out of Madrid with the Celtic fans up there ready for the game tomorrow night, and I'm absolutely buzzing to get to that game. Man of the moment though, David Turnbull, another goal at the weekend, and he was asked if he was impressed with his own performance. David Turnbull said, "Yep, pleased with the goal and my performance. I felt I did well. I tried to get on the ball and create chances. They were tough to break down at the weekend, but we got there in the end. It was comfortable, said David Turnbull." He was also asked, the manager said that you don't get time to settle, or you don't get a run of games. You've got to come out and hit the ground running. Are you pleased the way you've done that in the last couple of games, David? And he replied again, David Turnbull said, once you get into the team, you need to take your chance. There is a lot of competition for places, but once you're in there, you need to nail that down. You need to nail the spot down and say it's yours. I'm going to try and do that in every game I am in, said David Turnbull. So it's interesting. Nothing about the contract talks as yet, but we'll get to that. It was then asked, you must feel as if you've got to contribute. You've still got a lot to contribute to the club. And this is kind of hinting at the transfer speculation that's been surrounding David Turnbull. He said, yes, definitely. Every game that I play in, I want to give my all to create and score chances for the team. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to continue to try and do, says David Turnbull. And then getting on to the whole transfer speculation, David Turnbull was asked, the manager spoke yesterday about your future, and it's down to you. It's you've got to get the football that you want. How do you feel about the situation at the moment, David Turnbull was asked. He said, to be honest, I just leave it to the club and the others involved with it. He says, I'm trying to do my talking on the pitch. I try to focus on my own game. I'm not too focused on transfer talks as at the moment, which is interesting. He was also asked, is the key, do you need to block that out, or will you sort of get over it? He says, yep, overthinking things in life, and football especially, sometimes you do that too much. We've got a lot of games coming thick and fast. We're just focusing on the games, says David Turnbull. He was then asked about the celebration the other night when he put his fingers in the ears. Do you sometimes get frustrated, he was asked, about certain things on the pitch and certain things at the club? The punters seem to lose patience with you quickly. He said, yeah, it's one of those things. I was delighted. Some of the boys feel that the criticism here is quite harsh, but you've got to block out the noise as much as possible. And it is true. I mean, we've spoken about it on this channel before, but we do tend to give the Scottish players specifically a lot of grief. I mean, people saying that James Forrest has passed it, and then he scores with a header in Ross County, and you know, that's every season, and in 15 seasons that he's managed to do that. Think about it, 15 seasons at Celtic, and we do definitely give the homegrown players a lot of stick. And then we seem to love foreign players when they come in, and then when they go for big money, it's like, well, we kind of just accept that. But when players that have been at the club for a long time, it seems to be they're the ones that sort of get it in the neck. I can remember everyone saying about Scott Brown. Scott Brown was finished when the manager came in the first time around. So let's get to the big breaking news of the day, the big one. I mean, there's a lot of talk about David Turnbull. Rodgers has obviously made it clear that the situation is firmly in the Stars' hands. If he wants a new contract, it's pretty much there. There's a lot of talk around Glasgow that he doesn't want to sign the new contract. He doesn't want to stay at Celtic, and I can understand. He maybe wants to get game time. He wants to be playing week in, week out. And let's face it, he could walk down to the Championship in England and probably treble his wages. Will he do that? Well, only time will tell. Only time will tell. But more importantly, Celtic are in a position that we have a fantastic striker, but we have only one striker that kind of dominates our team at the moment and over the last couple of seasons, which is a position that Celtic doesn't usually find itself. Celtic as a football club over especially the last 20 odd years have always had at least one decent striker and backup, or we've had two fantastic strikers at the club at any given time. The fact that we do have O as backup, he's only a young lad, he's foreign, he doesn't speak a lot of he isn't fluent in English, and he's playing back up to Kyogo, And Kyogo has been the main striker at Celtic who needs to do it at the highest level in the Champions League for him. But the worry is that Postecoglou, who was lured down to Tottenham in the summer with the riches that are down there, he did make Celtic back to being the dominant force in Scotland. We had one little hiccup here in 2020, the COVID season, where not having fans at game sort of impeded Celtic and didn't help us at all. And there was a number of situations, but Ange Postecoglou came in and made some fantastic signings at the club, and we do know that he likes to bring in a player in January. He has earned a reputation for unearthing unknown players and bringing them to Europe. Now he's at Tottenham. He's plotting after a good start in London. It's been said he's plotting to come back to Scotland, and he has been looking at Celtic players. He has also been looking at his top scout was sent to Scotland, and he was sent to watch games, including the Aberdeen, Hearts and Rangers games. But he has still been watching Kyogo Furiashi, and it has been said that with the January window closely approaching, that Ange Postecoglou is keen to raid Scotland and take some of his top stars back south with him. If he comes in and takes Kyogo, if he comes in and makes a crazy offer for Kyogo and Celtic accept it, it's worrying times. We don't need to sell Kyogo. We're in a position, especially a Christmas transfer window, a winter transfer window would just be absolute criminal by the board if they were to accept any offer for any of our first team stars. I know that we will be at the Champions League come January. There's not much chance of us finishing second, let's be honest. But then with 3 games to go, you never know. If we win our last 3 games, ever the optimist on this channel, if we win our last 3 games, we could finish second in this Champions League group. But let's be realistic. And the worrying thing that is everything to do with the Celtic, it is just such a Celtic thing. We managed to get ourselves away in front again. We lose our manager and he comes in and takes one of our main strikers. Tell me in the comments, what do you think that Celtic will do? Will Celtic sell Kyogo? It's not a conversation I really want to be having the day before a Champions League game, let's be honest. But the noise coming out of London with this speculation is unbelievable. And the fact that Ange Postecoglou did send his top scout up to watch Kyogo, it only says one thing, and it's like, well, bugger off, mate. Cannot do one. Anyway, tell me what you think about Ange Postecoglou coming up and scouting Kyogo again, sending up his top scout from Spurs. I think it would be the wrong move for Celtic to even consider selling Kyogo Furiashi at any point during the league. It is, we all know that he's at the age where 28-year-old, he's got one big move left in him in his career, and I think he will go at some point. Let's face facts. We're going to be totally realistic here. He's not going to stay at Celtic for the rest of his career. He's not going to be a James Forrest or Callum McGregor. I mean, he does enjoy it, but don't all these badge-kissing players that come in and managers that come in and slap the badge and kiss the badge and everything. You all know that they're all going to move on at some point. So I'm only being realistic as the sun breaks through the clouds and shines in the window. On that note, I'm away to get ready to travel up to Madrid. We've got a 2.5-hour high-speed train journey in front of us. So on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans. Tune in tomorrow for some videos from Madrid, and then the next day also after the game there should be some videos from. So it should be an interesting time up in Madrid. Tell me what you think the team will be for Madrid, because I think David Turnbull is one player that will definitely start. Lewis Palmer will definitely start, but then up to that, after that, it'll be interesting to see who the manager Brendan Rodgers goes with. So on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up.